5:38 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Pre-market update, pre-market feature, special feature, pre-market bear ETF pre-market update, bear ETF pre-market update. How about that, everybody? Yes, the Supercommittee is not doing well in Europe, and all the catastrophes and everything that they got themselves into, they're not doing very well, but we darn sure are doing extremely well. Right here, we're going to be looking at various different, we already, it's called bear ETFs, and where does these start to build their new bases? And what does that look like on the daily and the weekly? And which ones have the higher beta price movement? I'm featuring the EDZ. What is it? There it is. Bear 3X right here. SHS. $1.44. $2.19 on the FAZ. That's a financial one. How about that SKF? Ultra short financial there. It's fairly decent gap. Here's another one. What about that large cap bear, that BGZ? And the most famous small cap bear 3XTZA. Up with the, now these are like Google gapping or Apple gapping $8 or $7 or $8. These are big gaps because they are. And so let's keep everything in the price reality structure, the reality of the price movement. It'll move over here in the range today. However, we're going to be featuring that FXP. That's that China 25 that we always talk about. $1.44 ratio gap. Total volume 700. Historical volume is 414,000 only. And we will be having lots of program features as far as learning how to trade lower volume markets and how lower volume exchange models, what they're like, and how to make transactions in them. We are looking for where things are printing. We have an ultra short right here. SJL doesn't have hardly any volume, but look at that ratio movement. We will teach you how to get in the bid and out on the ask. We will teach you how to drop down those prices and mark them down to the wholesale bid entries. That we will. Here's another one up front and center. That's that. Here it is. It's a new one. It's an MSCI EEB. Now, having said all of that, here on monitor 1, I'm going to show that the current euro right now, and we're going to throw a couple of these bears in here. Here's the EEB. That's your volume. That's the spreads. There are the closes. We'll be doing a feature, special feature on how to trade low volume. How do I steal that bid? And once I do steal that bid, how can those break out on low volume? All right. And we're going to be featuring this FXE because if this goes down in value, then these work. This is that euro. Okay. Here is the TZA chart. And what are we looking for in bear funds? Well, we're looking for in any one of these daily consolidations, because it is a daily chart. One of the things that we want to feature is where the gap is relative to where its resistances is, and where the daily moving average is will be that upper end of that first resistance area up here, and their daily simple moving averages and their 200-day is the one that we're going to be focusing on. Of course, there is a 40-day moving average. That's the color of that line. And this is what the TZA, and we're going to do the FAZ as well. So basically, when we take a look in here, we can take a look at the FAZ financial bear is going to come up, and it's got a resistance handle right up here where that support level was. This is all live right now in pre-market. We are the #1 pre-market analyzer as far as understanding what these resistance levels are going to be and how these are going to, but what was the most important thing is that they have finally gone through, this one here has, and a daily ascending consolidation. Obviously, what you're going to be looking at is where these trend lines go up, and you're going to monitor them. That's the famous FAZ. SHS is an ETF, but it's an FAZ, directional SHS brand is what it is. Here is another one right here that we like. That horizontal trend line, this is where that gap down, but you can see down in here, and I'm just giving you the brief updates right now. MMT's live in pre-market, called the Live Bear ETF Bear Market Trade Management Setup. When things aren't going good in the world, money is going to print somewhere. The highs on these things, if things were to really sell off with the Supercommittee, and now Spain is in the spotlight, you have a lot of various different things that support. Watch the SKF. And that one, you can take a look at some of these in the level 2 right here. You can see the volume here. You can see the close. You can see the amount of gap in that SKF. Another one that's important is going to be the TYP. And here's a TYP chart, and it has a bottom base. It's fairly cheap right now, but it is a bear 3x with 1,400 shares. That closing level, now you don't have a lot of beta or delta in your brain on this one, but if you learn how to get the right price, it is setting itself up. Because if technology goes lower, this will have a move higher. And it's about where do I get the entry, and what was this whole daily consolidation about? It's here, it's now, it's live. It's 5:46 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11/21/2001. With how do I learn how to understand if the world wants to fall apart? That's okay. Where do I get paid from it? Where do I get paid? Where does my trade management, where does my focus need to change? If the S&P 500 breaks that 1,200 mark, well, guess what? These will break above and start to work there, and we'll take a look at them on a weekly level. Let us not forget, here in pre-market, bear management ETF structure. You already know that these things are on the site. Here's another one that you're going to like. Well, let's just take a look at it again. This is that EEV, that new one that we were talking about, EEV. And, you know, we'll do a volume analysis. We have a mathematical volume brain, the SMF volume analyzer. Here are the tops that this is going to break. As far as that EEV goes, you can see the price print right here. We'll just feature it again. And you're going to gap up. And hey, that 50-day moving average is right here. Okay? And where is that 50-day moving average? Well, it's quite simple. That 50-day moving average is 37.43. And right now, you're going to gap right into that 50-day moving average on this one. And that will be the first wall of resistance. Now, the thing about it is, if you shorted this very same bear fund, shorted that all the way down to the bottom, which we can do in bear and bulls, you can make good money. But now, look at the bottom bases that they're building. That was a 4-day. It went up to resistance. It pulled back. It tested it. It came up and it kind of based it right here. And then it displayed last week's daily breakout here, with it also consolidating at the high price action level of the previous days. Buyer, seller. The buyer was in control this day. Now we're going to gap up here. Here is going to be another trend line that you're going to be interested in, irrespectively. And we're spending the time because we feel that this is important. Happy Thanksgiving week. It's going to be a light trading week. Here you go. These are going to be areas of resistances on the way up. And there's going to be a pocket in this one up in here. So here, let me draw a little X for you, if I can. It doesn't let me do it on this one. But do you see this price range right up in here? Here you go. You see this area right in here? Once we start to move laterally up, should we keep breaking key support levels on the S&P 500, and that there is panic selling and that the fear indicators are working, then the bear funds are going to work. There are, once again, it is a special presentation, and it's a happy Thanksgiving on bear funds. That FXP, watch this one here. We'll take a look at the chart. Here. It's got a base. There it is. Okay, so there it is. It's going to come up. It's going to break out of this. That 100-day moving average and the 50-day, it's all right here. Let's put the FXP bid and ask in the level 2 up here. Close 31. That's your ratio movements. They don't have high ratio movement MMTs, but when they pull back and you have that lower limit order out there, you're going to want to start getting into some of these things within the 2011 Thanksgiving week, which started right now on Monday morning in pre-market at 5:51 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Is that once we do break up on out of there, MMT, and it's live, and it's here, and it's now, there's no after the fact, there's none of that. There's none of the speculation, there's nothing about which way is the price printing. Obviously, MMT, you can take a look at various different breakouts, and there's volatility in these things, and this was happening back over there. They like to gap down, get support, and they continue to break out. This one is going to break out. And the key level, once again, is watching this area. We're at 32. But this, right, you can see this major line right here where it popped. This is going to be, when we go through there, you're going to hit that upper trend line there. And you're going to be watching this 40-day and 50-day simple moving average. And you're going to look at the green line on this particular one. How does it build a base above the 200-day simple moving average? And the 10-day moving average builds strength. When it comes up and ascends in value, this is where we want to be looking at. And that is this gap sequence. So it's going to get above it and become new support. But it's one to watch. How do I trade light volume? How do I steal the wholesale bid? I'm not going to pay retail for these, but guess what? They are here, and that's a good one. Here's another good one. SJL. Now, remember, some of these are very light volume, and some are higher volume. Okay? And you can see, though, where prices were way up here. It's an ultra short, all right. Okay, and you can see right in here that these lower light choppy volumes, you can take advantage with entries and selling higher. And your 51.99, there it is, 53.45. These are more manipulative. I will teach you how to put the lower end of the bid down below the market to get wholesale so that when you bounce off support, you'll have someone to sell it to, and that's the public, because you're an MMT market maker. It's a 15-minute special, Thanksgiving special on bears. And let us not forget the BG. Here's one that's doing quite well. Here, look at this one. This one here, that's that large cap now. It does have a yield, and it's a large cap bear now. Okay? And they're going to set up bases in here. And it's how it takes out these upper resistance levels, and how they can come all the way up, and what these potential levels are really going to be should the financial markets continue to sell down. You want to be where the money's printing. This is it. Okay, we'll cover the broader market. One of the things is that with the bear funds, this is going to be tied to it. The FXE, you're going to be wanting to watch, along with this, you're going to be wanting to watch the SDS for the S&P. That's the ultra short S&P 500. It's going to come up here. You'll be watching that 200-day moving average. It's been building a base on the bottom with the and they're all 52-week lows, a lot of them in the cycle here with the bases. You'll be watching that one. The thing you want to watch is how it gets above the 200-day simple moving average. That's the line right below here. And that simple, it's very important to watch it. And that is 21.82. And the 100-day, of course, is 22.45. And the 50-day is 22.22. Notice how the 50 and the 100 are is kind of like crossing down below it. That's because these things had sold off very hard. This was the highs up in here, and it has room to go. They all do. If the financial markets want to continue to sell off because the Supercommittee can't do anything right, you would take a look at the bull. You can short these bull ones that are going to go down and go long these bears at the very same time. So, once again, MMT, here's another important one. The mid-cap 400. Here. MD 400. MD 400 ultra short. Building a base. Oh boy. This is it right here. You can see where the tops were. Yes, you can, MMT. And you want to be on the side of that good Thanksgiving meal. Well, I can tell you right now, when you take a look, there's only 400 volume, but look at the close, look at the ask, and look at the bid. Bid and ask. That's this right here. And once again, the 50-day moving averages and the 40-day moving averages, if you know how to steal the bid and they mark them up, just like they marked them down, you could short these down like that, all the way to the bottoms here, and then go long. And you can short the bull. So let's get ready. Happy Thanksgiving week. And I've given you the daily outlook, the morning and pre-market, bear market management update. It's not like you have to go in there, but you got to keep watching them and aside, you know, on the side when you're doing other things. Okay? Because this is where the market will print.